Hi, I'm Sandra Barrington, Executive Director of Sierra Nevada Memorial Hospital Foundation, and welcome to Doc Talks. This is a series where we bring our local physicians to you to learn more about, their background, what services they provide in the community, maybe a little bit about what they think the future of healthcare might look for them in Western Nevada County. And I have a very fascinating physician with us today, and I'm very excited about this interview. One of our urgent care physicians at the Urgent Care Center, and this is Dr. Sonya Bhatti.
Mm-hmm. Hey, everybody.
Thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
I was highly encouraged to interview you.
I'm glad to know.
You come highly recommended.
Aww.
Heard many great things about your work.
Aww.
Thanks. And you're in the urgent care department now.
Yes.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your educational background, because it sounds very fascinating and maybe a little not the standard that you would think of for a physician.
Yeah, so I'm an international medical graduate. I went to medical school in China, Tianjin Medical University. The program I was in was an international program. There were students from 40 plus different countries and all over the world. And my training was done with Western medicine and in English. And then there was a separate section for the students from China who went on with Chinese medicine and so yeah.
What made you choose just medicine in general as a practice?
Yeah, that's a great question. When you hear interviews about people like, I knew this since I was a kid, I always wanted to be a doctor since as long as I could remember.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, and then was there something that inspired you to choose, urgent care, family practice medicine? There's so many different options in the field.
Absolutely. I think there's definitely so many things you can do after residency, and I wanted a combination of preventative medicine, primary care, and procedures. I love doing procedures. I get instant gratification when a patient comes in with a laceration and they go out, with sutures. I like the mix of that.
Yeah, great. So you're in the urgent care right now. Yeah, and do you also do family practice?
Yes, so I did my residency in family medicine.
Okay,
so
great.
yeah.
So you're doing both duties. Yeah.
Oh, well, definitely. I think there is a deficiency of physicians in this area.
Absolutely.
So we do see patients who don't have primary care doctors or are unable to get in to see their primary care doctors, and we do help manage their chronic diseases as well.
Okay. So what does a typical day look like for you?
So I live about an hour away from Grass Valley, 50 minutes to an hour away. On the way to work, I blast music, motivate myself, especially with Punjabi music, because my parents are from Punjab, India. And then once you walk into urgent care, the first thing is check boxes, make sure there's no messages, anything that needs to be signed. And then after that, it's just go, 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 go. And it's 6 o'clock before you know it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a full day.
So I think the biggest thing is in all of this is to determine, is this an emergency or not emergency? And then treat every patient. Number 2 is treat every patient like I would want my family to be treated if they went to an urgent care. So definitely. Yeah.
Wonderful. And you just got back from a big trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes. You've been doing some international work.
Yes.
And I'm really excited to talk about that. I was joking with her earlier that I was internet stalking her and watching some really cool things on Instagram, that you were in India doing some work with HPV vaccines.
Yes. So since I was a kid, I always wanted to be a doctor, and I always wanted to travel, and I always wanted to work in villages. I did not know what exactly my passion was or exact topic. I actually, in third year of residency, I went to India and served as a resident physician at the farmers' protest, and I realized women were pulling me to the side. And then I realized that they don't really have actual space to talk about their problems. And when I came back to America, I started researching about pap smears, where do they get their pap smears, and realized a lot of women don't. Then I started looking up the rates of cervical cancer in India, and it's high.
Wow.
One out of every 8 minutes of women passes away from cervical cancer in India.
Wow.
So, but it's the only and preventable cancer at this time where there is an actual, you can get the vaccine.
Yeah.
And you know what I realized? It's not just India. It's here.
It's everywhere.
Everywhere.
A lot of people don't realize how important the HPV vaccine is.
Yes. And so then I also actually had the chance to go to Nigeria in December and do a focus on this as well. And I was in India last month for about about a month, and we went village to village talking about the HPV vaccine, the benefits. And two things I've learned is either they're not aware, the women and the girls are not aware, or there's a lot of misinformation about it. The saddest part, that the thing that motivates me, is to know when a woman's passing away from cervical cancer, she didn't even know it was preventable. That breaks my heart.
Yeah.
So I made it my mission actually to spread as much awareness as I can, and it was very successful.
Yeah. And your recent trip, it sounds like, was part of the United Nations.
So I am actually a United Nations Association here actually in Grass Valley, a health advocate for them, and I had a chance to ask them, hey, can I also help with the sustainable developmental goals and to promote that? And they said, yeah, absolutely. So
that's great.
Yeah, so it was really nice.
Fantastic. Well, it's really important. Go learn about the HPV vaccine. I believe it's age 11 or 12 when they start.
So 9 to 14 is the age, and then 11 to 12 is when they recommend it. But any if you could even get it before the age of 15, it's huge. It will definitely decrease cervical cancer by up to at least 90%. I mean, where do you hear those numbers?
Yeah, and like you said before, it's the only preventable. Yeah.
In this time, this is the only prevention that we have that's almost directly linked to decreasing a cancer.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So locally here in Grass Valley, like, what do you see as maybe the future of medicine and your field?
I think at this time we're definitely at a transitional point, especially with the integration of AI. And then when I look on social media, I see more physicians following newer healthcare models. It's hard to say where medicine will lead to because there's so many, just with what's going on. But I do definitely believe that in the near future, more physicians and healthcare providers will definitely emphasize on work-life balance, flexibility, and autonomy. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's good to hear that work-life balance is important.
Yeah.
Yeah, very important. Well, thank you for joining me today. It was great to meet you and hear more about your work, especially your international work.
Oh,
thank you for that advocacy. And you can see more Doc Talks at supportsierranevada.org/doctalks or on Nevada County Media. Thank you.
Thank you.